we'll know soon.
The second day in the Pyrenees brings together all of the high spots in the southern mountain range that separate France from Spain. It's a day for close encounters with old Tour friends, the Col du Tourmalet, the Col d'Aspin and the Col de Peyresourde, first included in the race in 1910. It's a day the climbing specialists can relish as they move away from Courtrai over the Col du Tourmalet at 6,900 feet, the Peyresourde at 5,100 to the finish of Superbagneres at 5,009.
The peloton, cycling terminology for the main pack, begins to rise from the valley. But with Tourmalet in the distance, Charly Mottet and Robert Millar, a Scot, who have both finished fourth in the Tour, make a break. They are joined by Pascal Richard, a Swiss. Pedro Delgado, trailing Le Mond by 6 minutes and 24 seconds, is in front of a pack with teammate Julian Grospe, whose sole job in the race it is to help the defending champion set the pace, break away, or just get water. Grospe is a team domestique. For now, Le Mond is on his own and mysteriously unconcerned to challenge break. Perhaps he feels a weakness because he has no one like Grospe on his team to help.
Robert Millar has an affinity with the Pyrenees. He's won here twice before. Charly Mottet has found an ally to try and beat the rest, and Richard has fallen back. The pacemakers of this Tour know now they face their toughest day in the mountains so far. And up on top of the mountain, Millar speeds over the Tourmalet. His lead just 28 seconds over the chase group. The newspaper to put up the jumper and keep the wind off the chest.
Still, the peloton simply prowls but doesn't attack. Delgado leads the group surrounded by his powerful mountain teammates. It seems as if he will be the one to make the move, but when? 28 seconds doesn't seem to be enough of an inspiration to go just yet. A feeling shared by Greg LeMond, who continues in a stage many felt would cost him his yellow jersey. Col du Tourmalet is now a memory for Charly Mottet and Robert Millar. They lead by 30 seconds, and Pedro Delgado doesn't like it. Using Grospe to break the air, Delgado rides more easily in the slipstream. This, then, would be his move away from the pack. So much was now happening in the race. How long can Greg LeMond go without getting involved? At Superbagneres, a ski resort that looks like it was dropped onto the top of the mountain by helicopter. The cyclists should be so lucky. Pedro Delgado's unrelenting drive meant that leaders Charly Mottet and Robert Millar had company. Grospe had done his job and now has fallen away. If the race ended right now, Charly Mottet would have the yellow jersey, for the peloton has fallen 4 minutes and 15 seconds back. Knowing the time situation means Fignon, Andy Hampsten, and Greg LeMond must press. For stage 10 is, it seems, changing the race dramatically. Be part of it now, or it may be lost.
A big part of mountain racing is the rider's close contact with the crowd. Now those are Basque flags, while Delgado is from Segovia. But in a moment like this, a Spaniard is a Spaniard. They're urging him on, and you can almost feel the collective energy flowing into Delgado as he leads Millar and Mottet. Fignon, preoccupied more by Le Mond, who he leads here, than Delgado, who he has allowed to pull far ahead. And Hampsten, riding for the first time in close company with the key men in the race. Delgado leads Mottet and Millar with 6 miles to go. Delgado rides a surging wave of emotion, supremely confident, knowing he's tearing great chunks out of Le Mond and Fignon's lead. And now he's leaving Mottet behind.
Those with ambition know now they face a major decision. Fignon, and just behind him, Andy Hampsten, and behind the two of them, Greg LeMond, have lost sight of their most dangerous rival. Delgado at this moment is not worried about Robert Millar. He's thinking only of making up time on Greg LeMond and Laurent Fignon. He has 1.5 miles to make up as much as possible.
The chase group, led by Fignon and a strong Andy Hampsten, begins to close on the leaders. Just 3.5 minutes back now. Stroke for stroke over 4 mountains today, Robert Millar has matched Delgado, the man regarded as the strongest climber in the sport. Delgado had hoped to make up 2 minutes of his deficit on this stage. He's nearly doubled that.
Delgado and Millar have been strong, but the lead is shrinking. The chase group is now the center of this race's attention, for the yellow jersey is the attraction. Millar hasn't won a stage in the Tour de France in 5 years. He is spurred on by that and the thought of doing it against the great Delgado. Delgado has delivered what the mountains had promised. The stage belongs to Millar, but the clock now starts, and for every second that ticks by, Delgado erases his deficit. 1 mile from the finish and 3.5 minutes behind Delgado, the race still hasn't played out all its surprises, for Laurent Fignon drops Greg LeMond. Immediately, and for the first time since stage 5, Greg LeMond fears the loss of the shirt he coveted. He reacts accordingly.
Mond, in sight of the hardest day of the Tour de France so far, must have thought his yellow jersey was safe. Instead, Fignon's attack has caused a violent reaction. After 4 mountains, Mond's answer to the attack has put him into an oxygen debt. His heart fights to catch up with the pace set by his legs. Slowly but surely, Mond's overall lead slips away.
Mond has pushed his legs to the point where lactic acid makes them feel like balloons, and that is poisonous to a charge like this. Greg is concerned now not by what's in front, but what's behind, for he cannot catch Fignon.
And what he sees is Andy Hampsten, characteristically not varying his rhythm as he passes LeMond, now exhausted from his futile counterattack on Fignon.
Oxygen debt leads to a Fignon surplus in terms of time, but he looks worn as well. There is a swarm around the new leader of the race. Fignon will wear the yellow jersey for the first time since he won in 1984. Seconds later, Andy Hampsten finishes. As a result, he gains no time on Fignon and only a couple on LeMond, who is right behind. The time additions and subtractions put LeMond 7 seconds back. Robert Millar, who once made a wrong turn in the Pyrenees and lost that stage, made all the right ones today, as the slopes of the Pyrenees have juggled the status of many. Millar defeats Delgado in the stage by a wheel, and the rules say that as a result, they will receive the same time. The yellow jersey belongs to Fignon. Greg LeMond trails by 7 seconds. Mottet emerges clearly, and Pedro Delgado has turned a 10-minute deficit into 1 under 3.
It was a complex day. You rode beautifully again, but you surrendered the yellow jersey. What are your thoughts?
10 seconds, not much, and you just took off in the last 200 meters. I was a little tired at the end. But for me, the most important is that I'm in a very good position, and now the pressure's on Laurent Fignon. And but for me, I think he made a very big mistake today. Letting Delgado, he played the race all against me, but he has to realize that Delgado is probably the most dangerous rider now. And as we approach the Alps, Delgado is getting closer to Fignon, and I believe that Delgado will take time out of Fignon in the time trial and even more on the hills. So for me, the race is between Delgado and Fignon, with me a close contender.
So Charly Mottet of France has emerged and doesn't find it all that enjoyable. Delgado is also the object of attention, but that is not new. Greg LeMond tries to take off the yellow jersey. Now he needs help. Maybe deep inside he doesn't want it removed, for it symbolized his comeback as complete. Fignon has made a statement by grabbing the jersey,